You don't even know if you're
That's
gonna
not.
like two monitors. Well, fucking jokes on me. I love two monitors. I can never go back.
Yeah, I sometimes wish I could have three and just like extend them all across three of them.
I
I would
would
do
love a
like
third
two
one.
verticals and then one oriented the other way, so that way I could just have this like huge panel.
Yeah, like this one I'm on right now is 60 hertz. My TV is 60 hertz. So they're pretty much the same, but my other one is, oh, they're all 60.
Yeah, I mean 60 hertz is a good standard HD, but the 75s just give you a little
I
bit
need to
more.
get a better monitor.
All
I
right.
think I'm
Well,
gonna look for some better
we had a nice
monitors.
little intro tech talk, and I think it's time that we do a Shedtime podcast. What do you guys say?
I'm down. I'm down. Let's go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Shedtime podcast in 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Shedtime. What is Shedtime, you ask? Well, it's code for the consumption of cannabis, but it's much more than that. Shedtime's a state of mind. It's art, it's music, it's cryptocurrency, technology, it's food, it's vaping. It can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you're not letting the bastards get you down, not being a dick, and making it fun. When you're in the shed, it's whatever your mind allows you to create. So now let's get to the Shedtime podcast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is another fantastic day. I'm kind of excited because spring is here. I mean, at the time of recording, it's Easter, but I mean, spring is here, man. I was out in my yard this week cleaning up some of the leaves and stuff from the end of the fall and through the winter. And I got plants growing. It's finally getting warm. Weatherman said this week we could see some 70s actually hit this area, so I'm
Yeah, dude,
feeling
it's
gassed.
actually like supposed to be pretty warm. So definitely 70s. I know that it's supposed to be like in the mid 20s Celsius, which I'm pretty confident is like high 70s.
20, I'd say yeah, because 20 is 68.
Yeah, so it's got to be like mid to high 70s. Spring has sprung. The tulips are starting to come. Haven't seen any flowers yet, or like I haven't really looked deep at the trees, but I feel like the buds are there and everything's kind of moving. Like that, I think that we're on that right path to everything being good. It's super sloppy out. There's almost no snow anywhere at all, even in like the windrows. I fucking and 2 weeks from now is like one of my favorite times of the year. Like
Yeah,
when
that
everything
like
starts to green up and it
peak
starts to be a
spring.
little less like sloppy and it just has like that smell, that
Yep.
smell of like of
Green.
nice, like a life,
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh,
fresh new growth. Oh,
it
speaking
definitely
of,
leads to a lot of work outside like that. That's like, but you know what? At the same time, like I haven't done a lot of work all winter, so like a little bit of physical labor feels good too. I always find like doing those things for yourself, like not working for work, but doing things for yourself. I fucking love that.
yeah, man, it feels good to just start to even get the yard cleaned up and be like, oh hey, here's that patch, here's this, here's that. I gotta start moving everything towards the fire pit so we can burn off all these leaves and twigs and branches and shit.
Yeah, especially when you like, rake up your lawn, get it all fucking nice for when you actually have to start cutting grass and stuff, and you have like all that extra stuff. It's like nice. Plus, like that winter, or not winter, that spring air mixed with fucking smoke for some reason to me is like that real fucking, oh yeah, like fire season's about to begin.
Mhm.
Like we're fucking cooking with gas in this bitch. Like I
Yep.
love it.
Oh man, I got the brand new grill that I got to build so that we can start fucking grilling. Oh, I'm so excited. The good weather's coming. It uh, it definitely makes me excited to get outside more this year and do some things. You know, get down to the pond, maybe do some more fishing, cook
Oh
some
yeah, dude.
Dude, I
I
wouldn't mind
can't
getting
on the
out
wait.
and going
grill.
fishing, dude.
Uh,
Yo, James, I got a question for you. Just because, like, I kind of think that Sean and I's springs might be very similar, because our winters aren't really that far apart. Like, what's a spring life for you? Like, where you are from, not like what it'd be like at points in California, like where you have grown up and where you live. Like, what's like spring? Because I assume you still have 4 seasons. They're just not quite as extreme.
Kind of, bro. Because like our season, like we have mainly 2 seasons, bro. Kind of. It's like we've
Okay.
got winter and we've got summer. You know what I mean? And you get like maybe like a week, like a couple weeks of fall and a couple weeks of spring. You know what I mean? It's
Okay,
like
okay.
you don't really notice like the season change as much as you just notice the weather change, because we don't have like a whole bunch of like trees and
Yeah, like you don't have
flowers and
deciduous trees that lose their
depending on like
fall.
what like
Okay.
like community you're growing up in, because like some of the the more like tracked out homes and stuff like that, they'll have like some actual landscaping and stuff, but even then most of our landscaping out here is desert landscaping because they want people to not
Water their
lawns and
grass and
shit
shit.
because the
So do you
fucking
guys
droughts
get
and stuff.
spring showers though? Does that happen?
Yeah, like
Do you get
it'll
like more
happen.
rain in the spring?
It's weird, dude, because we get like the same amount during the spring as we do during the winter. You know what I mean? It's like
Oh,
it's
because
kind of
like
like
not often you actually get snow. I know that you got snow this
yeah,
past winter, but
yeah, dude. But we've gotten actually. I don't know if you've fucking seen anything recently about California and shit, dude. We've had some crazy fucking snowstorms in like some of the like more northern areas and like some of the like higher altitude places, to where it's like there's flooding and shit happening now as it's melting, to where there's like
oh
this
yeah, yeah,
lake that at one point was I guess they fucking drained it for agriculture and then ended up over time building communities and shit in it because it was just this dry lake bed. And now with all this fucking snow and fucking melt off, the fucking lake's coming back.
Yo,
And it's like
party at the lake.
like swallowing like streets and fucking
Oh, that's not
homes and
good.
businesses that were built in the dry
How
lake
much
bed.
fucking snow did they get?
Dude, it's insane, bro. It's probably some of the most snow that we've had in it's records.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're talking about like meters and meters of snow,
Oh,
not
yeah,
like
dude.
feet.
Dude, there's houses that were completely buried in like Mammoth, California and shit. And like even
What?
in Crestline, where I used to go jam with my buddy, their grocery store, the entire roof caved in because of all the snow that was on it. And it was the only grocery store they had up there.
Yo.
Like
Yo.
snow was insane.
Man,
here,
okay,
dude.
so I'm not like an anti I just want to be clear about this. Like I'm not like an anti climate change guy, but like how do those things happen when like there's supposed to be climate change? Like is it not just possible that like we're just going through these like massive cycles? Like that's like my one thing. I'm not trying to say that I don't think that it's real. What I'm saying is that I don't know what evidence there is that it is real when things like that happen. Like that's once again, I'm not saying I'm anti. I'm definitely not anti. I want to be like very clear about this, right? But I'm just curious, like, because
Okay.
that is crazy. Like that is a ton of snow, and that's obviously not normal. Otherwise, they'd be more prepared.
But that's the point of what climate change activists are talking about, is that those not normal things are the
Yeah.
results of this. So when people think
So
about,
even though they're not hot, even though it's a different outcome, it's still a result of
well, at
this
the end of the
change.
day, right, global warming in one place has to result in a global cooling elsewhere. The energy can't be destroyed, it just has to be transferred. Transfer of heat
Okay.
energy is hot to cold, right? So realistically speaking, when you think about the way that Northern California's snow would have happened, it says that somewhere a large amount of water was able to evaporate and get itself into a part of the jet stream that directed it over this cold portion that shared its cold from Canada through Washington and into Northern California.
Want to know
Right?
the crazier thing too, bro? Is there was a fucking tornado that touched down in Montebello, California, which is like, more, southern. from
Dude,
what
the
I-
tornado shit's been crazy.
We don't
but,
get
like-
tornadoes in Cali, bro.
California's
Apparently we
been like
do.
extra fucked
Dude,
up.
California, yeah, they're fucked now. That literally
Yeah.
every
Earthquakes,
disaster is
bro,
hitting them. That's fucking
Earthquakes,
horrible.
wildfires, tornadoes, fuck,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
You're
Don't
doomed.
Blizzards now too. Fuck.
Yeah, you're
and
doomed.
and don't
That's
forget that
awful.
like what was it? Central California got walloped for like 4 weeks straight of almost nonstop rain.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. And I wonder if like all that extra moisture and shit is what led to like those storms. You know what I mean? Because like you just said, right? It could be collecting it all where it normally wouldn't get it. Now it's like bringing all this fucking moisture back into the air, going somewhere different where it might be cold enough at that time to get all this fucking moisture in the air that turns into fucking just meters and meters of snow, destroying fucking shit. Like nobody can fucking facilitate like moving all of that out of there. Unless you get that all the time and you're prepped, right? Like
Yeah, like
there's
you need
budgets for a reason. There's like equipment that that is
yeah.
purchased.
You need
and
the kind
maintained
of
for a
like
reason.
northern Maine, even northern Canada levels of experience and preparation and snow removal to handle those
Yeah,
sort
and
of
dude, even
situations.
that, like, dude, I don't know. I'm sure there are places in Canada that get like crazy amounts of snowfall. Actually, after I'm done this, I'm going to see like top snowfall regions in like North America, but I've never seen it. So it's hard for me to imagine it. You know, like when you see in like, I remember watching snowboard videos, and lots of them would be in Europe, not in North America, I don't think. And it would basically be like this road that there would be snow like 15 feet high on one side and snow 15 feet on the other side. And then there'd be just like a road cleared out, right? And dudes would be just like rolling across and just like hit a little kicker and then just fucking launch across like a fucking 4-lane highway doing like 900s and then land on the other side, right? So I know that that's real, but that seems like not in our
Yeah,
it
no.
seems like a movie,
areas.
Well, that
you know?
that sounds like
Not
like
real,
the
but it
Swiss
is.
Alps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, in like
Like
those
the
kind of
Alps.
places.
Yeah.
But
Where
dude,
it
when that shit
always-
happens somewhere where it doesn't normally happen, bro, it's such a mind fuck, bro.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
I can't imagine seeing it. I can't. Like, dude, when you see people, so like I remember like my best friend, he showed me pictures of when he was in Switzerland one time, and they were staying in this like villa or whatever on the side of a mountain. It was like a kind of almost like a little subdivision of like chalets that were halfway down some fucking mountain. Dude, like he was like snowboarding and there was like pictures of him hitting a fucking like hit off the peak of a fucking roof and then doing like some spins, tricks, and then landing on the other side of the roof. And it was all snow. Like you couldn't even see the house. It just looked like it was just this massive fucking pile of snow that had like this hip off of it. And then he took a picture from the other side, and dude, like the whole back of the house is like completely covered in snow, and like it's just like all carved out around where like you walk and shit. I was like, yo, this is fucking wild. Like these people are just like living that fucking like mountain life. You know
Yeah,
what I
dude.
mean?
That's like how some of the houses were though, Chris. Like they literally had to like carve pathways and shit around their houses and stuff. Like I seen this dude, like he's just like walking through, like you could see him like kind of like digging, and all of a sudden he like kind of like pans back to like his house and looks up, bro, and it's literally wall of snow all around his house, and you could just see like the sky poking at. Dude, it's so crazy, bro.
Oh yeah. I mean, shit. We get those kind of winters around here every probably 10 years or so. I remember having one when I lived in the trailer park. I mean, anybody who's ever been in a double wide trailer, they kind of know how tall off the ground they are and shit. But like, we had a snowstorm. It was for like 3 days straight, and it hit us so hard and so bad that I had a friend. Shout out to the homie Will. This was the homie who bought a bag of weed for me every day, almost without fail. And Will fucking had to dig his way to my front door through snow that was like up to his chest and shit. So you're talking like 4.5, 5 feet
Hey,
of
man.
snow.
Bro, why
to be
didn't
able to
you
get
just
my
grab
door
anything
open?
for the
little
bag,
bit bigger
bro?
bag, bro?
Oh,
Like,
trust me.
honestly,
Trust me, the homie got the hookup. Don't you worry. The homie got the
yeah,
hookup.
you're like, yo, I feel bad for you.
But,
I'm gonna
like,
hook you up.
That was
Yeah,
the
this'll keep
kind
you
of
warm,
snow
bro.
we had, man. Like when they plowed that street, our whole street, it was 10-foot high snow mounds all the way up and down the road because of the like everybody having to shovel out. I
Oh,
that
dude, I
year
would
it
have been
didn't.
digging those out and just making like these crazy tunnels and passageways, just kicking it with the boys, dude. There's no way that the cops wouldn't even hear you
Bro.
if they drove by.
Well, I had the
It'd be
the shed
dangerous,
out
I guess,
back. The
but-
shed was buried. It was perfect. We just dug the door of the shed
So
out.
it's like an igloo that was like boarded on the
Yes.
inside.
Yes, it was perfect, and it had power because we ran an extension cord in. So
Yeah,
like
that's clutch.
it was key, dog. We had a little space heater we could throw on to keep us warmed up, and then we could just kick it, listen to some tunes, smoke
Oh, dude,
out,
with
have a
that
good
fucking
time.
snow on top, it probably insulated that bitch like a fucking boss. It was probably like
100%.
super nice, like t-shirt weather, and it could be cold as fuck outside.
Oh my god, it was those were some good years, man. My shed, dude. I don't know how we fit over 20 people into that tiny little tool shed, but we did it. And
I love
that
it
was
though.
that was good times, man. That was really good
Okay, so
times.
I found this is just for the United States, okay, but it's just going to be a frame of reference ultimately. So I found I'm going to list the top 5 locations where a weather station is and there's snowfall, okay, in America. So number 1 is Paradise in Mount Rainier, and it is 645 inches, which is 1,640 centimeters, dude. That is absolutely crazy. Oregon, this one's in Oregon. Timberline Lodge Ski Area, 551 inches. Utah, in a place called Alta, 456. Soda Springs, California, 411. Valdez, Alaska, 314. That's the top 5.
Wow.
So the 5th one is 314 inches.
That's
The
nuts.
fifth one's
fifth.
Alaska. That's
Yeah,
what just blew my mind.
Dude, number 6 is New Hampshire, Wyoming, New York, Michigan, Vermont. It's definitely all over the place, but they're nowhere near.
Is that Mount
like,
Washington number
nowhere
6?
near. Pardon me?
Is that Mount Washington that's number 6?
Yeah, Mount Washington in New Hampshire, 281 inches. Sorry, 282.1 inches. So there you go.
Crazy.
That's crazy though, man.
Because that's
Like that's
around
even
here,
that's a lot.
that's the one spot that like they will reference for like worst case scenario during the winter. Like they'll cut to
like
the
you're
Mount
prepping
Washington
for this.
Observatory and be like, see, it could be worse, motherfucker. Look at how awful it is up here on the top of the goddamn mountain.
Dude,
Which
that's crazy. Like
I appreciate
120 inches is fucking 10 feet, boys. Like you're talking about there could be 20 feet of snow in that bitch. Like that's fucking crazy. And that's nowhere near the top.
Yeah.
Like nowhere near the top. It is less than half of the top. It's half of second.
It's pretty insane. It's pretty damn insane.
Yeah, honestly, like that blows my mind. So hopefully those things stay around. You know what I mean? Like I think that that's crazy, but you know, all those places probably make mad money from snow, and I want people to have jobs and people to be able to have fun. You know what I mean?
Yo, I'll tell you what, I feel bad for people who make money on snow because the last few years around here, they took a bath.
Oh, for people that do like snow removal and stuff.
Yeah, like those guys did not make shit the last few years around here. And I mean, I know like a lot of those guys, they're usually like landscapers during this kind
Yeah.
of season, spring, summer, and fall.
They take the trailer off and put the plow on the front.
Yeah, and then winter time, it's time to fire up the plow truck. So the fact that those guys were pretty much left without income through the whole winter these last few years has definitely got to hurt. So
and you know what? You know what sucks for that too, right? Is because the way that lots of those people will do it, and I only know this because I did it for a long time, is that there's some people that they'll fight for like per month, right? And they'll even like within that month, sometimes they'll even like do per outing and like per salting and all that stuff. Or you can go the other way and you can have ones that pay whatever, and anytime it snows, you have to go clear and salt. But they pay like a monthly fee. So like let's say like the monthly fee is $5,000 for like an apartment complex, or you can pay like $500 every time it snows. So it's like, are they going to have to come out more than 10 times? So there's like this whole like back and forth on like what number is okay and all these different things. And I've seen it where people make out a fucking bag. Like they just kill it because they only have to go there 3 times in a month and they got paid $5,000, for example. And then I've also seen where they have to go every day and they kind of like take an L on like that, maybe that specific property.
It's
So
yeah, it's a dangerous game even when the season is good, you know. Not to mention the bidding war. Like I've been present during the bidding wars for a contract. And I mean, obviously the company wants to take the lowest bid possible. So at that rate, now you're watching these people duke it out, and sometimes that poor motherfucker eats absolute shit because
well, dude, it's like a race to the bottom, right? Like that's
Yep.
what that happens in so many markets, and like that kind of like I don't know what market that would be, like the service market, the service industry market, or whatever. Dude, you see that shit happen all the time. People will like take bids to like produce something, and they'll get it down to the point where like they have such slim margins, but they get it, and then they have to take shortcuts, and it's so fucked up, man. You see it in
Yeah.
like construction or road work all the time. You're like, man, these motherfuckers are redoing this shit like 3 years later because they just hacked the first job because they came in so low and they had to cut fucking corners.
Yep. The age-old lesson that you need to spend more to get more.
Yeah, dude, pay for
You know,
quality.
That's it. Pay a little bit
It's
more.
it's so
redo
rare
it in
though.
4
Like
years.
you can still find value deals across the board, right? But I don't know, man. It seems like it's like getting harder and harder to find some quality that's like not top dollar, you know?
Well, we can start to get into conspiracy about that a little bit, but I mean, at the end of the day, like it seems obvious. The profit margin of the people in the higher levels of business continue to stay the same, while the product either gets value engineered downward or gets an inflated price point. So it's an unfortunate aspect of capitalism, right? Like
Do you
everybody
think
wants to get
so like for some reason I've never once thought of this before, but you saying that just spurred this into my brain. So like you know how when like new tech comes out, it's always like crazy expensive. And then after like a couple years, people will be like, oh, you know, and they've figured out ways to make it cheaper and blah blah blah. And then it costs like way less. So like something like big screen TVs, right? Like big screen TVs when they first started coming out and they were big fucking TVs. Dude, it was expensive as hell. But now you can get like a TV that might be better than 5 years ago for less money that's big as hell. Do you think that part of it is because they just charged the fucking out the wazoo to cover the later, like lower returns? Or do you think that it really is they're just finding ways to make it way, way, way cheaper and they're actually making the same amount
in
off of each TV sold?
in my experience, I think it can work both ways, right? Because like on one hand, if you have, last year's model and you have better technology in this year's model, then you're going to get, your say 150% markup on this year's model. And then you can start to come down and maybe make a 50% markup on your profit on last year's model. At the end of the day, you're still keeping your profit margin where you want it in the green.
Yeah, like if you want it to be 75% or whatever.
So that could be part of it. It can also be that, yeah, absolutely, like new deals and things suddenly come about in that business where, all right, now the manufacturer of the TV is far less expensive. So last year's model is way easier and cheaper to make. We can manufacture them at half the cost, so we can still keep 100% margin, and the value, the price on it has just now dropped. Both of these things can be true.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, it's like It's one of those things that like every so often I think about stuff that I've never really thought about, and then when that gets explained or like you do a bit of research, so it kind of makes sense.
Because I mean, at the end of the
So that
day,
kind of
right?
makes
Like, if
sense.
you have a product that isn't moving and you need it to move in order to get new product going, right? Like, it's in your best interest to drop the price and lose a little bit of profits on that product to get it to move out, so that you have the room to be able to get the new products rolling at full price.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That actually does make sense. I guess that happens in like retail, that's how you can get like last season's stock for a good price, but it's like right when the new stock comes, or it could even be like just before, so they can take that capital that they got from selling it at a discount to then get the new stuff that they will move,
Yeah, even
whatever.
take like the weed industry, right? Like, you got strains in the dispensary that just aren't selling, so the original cultivator, the manufacturer may say, all right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll credit you $2 per package. You can take, $4 off of the price point. And now if it moves, we'll call it a day. We'll get it out of here. And that'll, liquidate the product so that you have room to take on new, better product.
Yeah, it's well, just like, yeah. When you say new, better product, like it might be still a good product. It's just not what's moving, right? It's not what's
Well, at the
hot.
end of the day, like with weed, it's becoming worse the longer it sits. The idea is we want it to sell quickly, so that way you always have the best product you can. The
Yeah,
longer
the
it sits,
fresher
the worse
shit.
it's getting, right? It's degrading the longer it's waiting to be sold.
It's like at grocery stores when like on after the weekend on like Monday or Tuesday you can go in and all the meat is like marked down because they packaged it for the weekend. It wasn't quite as busy as maybe they anticipated, and now
Yep.
they have all this meat that will go bad if you don't grab it. Dude,
Buying yesterday's bread at a
dude,
discount.
full disclosure, like that is all the meat that I buy.
Oh,
Like
fuck
I
yeah.
never buy full price meat ever. I'll go in and it'll be like save $5 on this pack of like steaks, and I'll be like, fucking steaks are $20, but right now they're 15. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
now I can
Today we
break it out. I can
ball.
cook one
Yeah,
tonight, and then the other four can just go
I
in the freezer.
freeze. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Because for me, like, dude, I have no issues. You know, taking out something in the morning, thawing it, and then cooking it at night. Like that's not an issue for me. If I'm like doing meal prep, it's definitely not an issue. I could just be like, oh, yo, it's fucking got some steaks, I got some chicken breasts. Like, let's go, let's get this done, and just defrost it. And then you
100%.
never have to worry about it like not keeping. But oh, dude, give me that savings, baby. Like that's what I'm about.
Absolutely.
Hey,
I'm
man, I'm
I'm a
all
big
about the
fan.
savings, bro.
Yeah, dude. Because if you buy like a little bit of meat and there's like 2 or 3 packages where you're saving like $4 or $5, you're saving $15.
No, like, let me just get that clearance, right? Like, I am not mad if I'm going to make a tomato sauce and there's a dent in my tomato can. If you're going to give me 15 cents off my tomato can, let's go. I'll take it. I like um the day old bakery goods, right? So like you get like uh muffins, cookies, shit like that.
Yeah, and Danishes, whatever.
Dude, you're gonna eat them before there's a problem. Don't you
Yeah,
worry.
and realistically speaking, like how many are you gonna eat the first day you get them?
Right.
Like you're
Like,
not gonna eat the whole fucking package.
well, it's like there'll be like a 4 pack of muffins, let's say, right? Like, there's two of us. We'll eat 2 muffins each within the next 4 to 5 days. That's not a question. We'll be fine. You know?
Yeah,
We've
it'll
even
still
bought
be fresh.
the day old sourdough bread. You know what I mean? Like, fuck yeah, it's fine. It's fine. They
Yeah,
just
and it
understand.
saves you a bunch.
That's it. Like, you get like $1.15, $1.20 off the loaf of bread. Like, you're winning. You're getting that value, and nothing's wrong. Like, I'll take the crushed box of fucking whatever for $1 off. Let's do it. The food inside's fine.
You know what's funny, man? I remember as a kid, I used to see like the scratch and dent kind of vibe place. It'd be like all the cans or like shit that was slightly damaged, and it would be like heavily discounted. But I never see that shit anymore. They must just like write it off, or I don't know what's happening because like I never see that. I used to when I was a kid, I would like look and there'd be like cans of pop. They were like scratch and dent or whatever the fuck they're called, and dude, they'd be like a dime. when to get a pop from, you know how like grocery stores always have like that little bit cheaper pop, like it'll be like half the price of what it would be at like a gas station. And when I was a kid, it'd be like 50 cents. But for some reason, the ones were like all dented up and shit, you get them for a fucking dime. And I'd be like, yo, all right, I got fucking 30 cents. I'm buying 3 pop. Let's go.
Let's go.
I'd like save up all the change I could find. So when I go grocery shop with my mom, I'd have enough to buy 3 pops. You know, you'd be like that 8, 9-year-old kid. Be
Oh,
like,
dude.
yeah.
I'd scratch for quarters just to fucking hit the little fucking quarter machines on the out, like right there by the door.
Oh,
out
like
of
the
grocery
candy?
store. Those are like the little fucking toy ones, see, like the little sticky hands or
Yeah,
like
dude.
fucking all that shit, the little bouncy ball ones or whatever.
The sticker machines that always
Oh,
have
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. They
wild
had the cool
holographic
little
stickers and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are more expensive though, bro.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were
they're
always
like
like a
$50
dollar.
cents.
They're like $1, bro.
Yeah,
so you'd
50
be
cents to $1. It's like, ooh, I'm
But yeah,
saving.
dude, I used to love that shit, bro. Because they would always have the machines sometimes that have only the banana runts. And I'd be like, fuck yeah, bro, because those were my favorite.
I'd have liked that
I
one, but
I
feel you.
actually I have a collection of bubble toys, quarter toys like that I was pulling out
Remember the little
from Walmart
homies?
recently. With the what?
The little homies?
Yes, dude, I have a shitload of homies somewhere in a box.
Yeah.
But I found Simpsons dog tags, little dog tag keychains
They had all kinds of
in
stuff,
one of
dude.
those. And
Yeah,
your boy with Simpsons, I had to grab
I'd
that.
scrounge for quarters for that and for like a fucking soda at the little soda machine on the way out.
See, as a kid, I was never
Or try to
allowed
get a cookie at the
soda on way
bakery.
out.
Get a fresh cookie at the bakery.
Dude, after you went to the deli counter and got that like
Yeah.
slice of fucking bologna or some shit for free.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude,
Like, yeah, here.
one thing I used to love, bro. I don't know why, bro. I think it was my grandma that introduced me to it, or like she probably liked it, and I started liking it because my grandma did. But it was this red cabbage salad, bro. And it was like this, just red cabbage sliced real thin, like and then like I don't know, some sort of vinegar sauce or something like soaked into it, dude. It was so fucking good, bro. Or like we'd always
Sort
go to
of.
the deli, get some of that, maybe get like a little we get some potato wedges and maybe like some fried chicken or something. And then we'd fucking hit the little fucking bakery, grab a little cookie, you know what I mean? Oh, fire.
Oh man. See, I love those old, like, you guys remember that old school grocery store vibe, like where like everything just had that like same smell in every grocery store. Like you could just kind of smell the food in the hot prepared section.
And then like if you kind of walk the other side, you smelled like the sweet cakes and fucking cookies and stuff on the other side.
Oh man, dude. I have this little spot up the street, Market Basket. They're like super, super old school. And like they're one of the few places that I found that it's like that still. And it's always a trip to go in there. Cause like I'm instantly transported to like those like mid 80s to like 90s era grocery stores. But this joint, the deli, like the hot deli, is on another level. Full size pizzas, full size sub bar, hot and cold, sushi bar, if you're into that, all going on in their hot bar section.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't know if I would trust grocery store sushi. Well, here's the thing. I just don't really trust sushi, period.
Yeah, like I'm sure that the grocery store is like fresh daily.
No,
like I trust their hot table and stuff. So
I was
why
just
not?
making a joke, sort of like gas station sushi. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a step up. Though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No, I'm kind of
Gas
with you
station
though.
hot dogs are so bad. 7-Eleven's actually not that bad.
I know this. I'm not trying to eat sushi prepared by some guy named Tom who's just out of high school.
That's kind of what I was getting.
You know,
to.
like
if it's some dude that actually, went to, some
like I want, if I'm gonna eat sushi, yeah, I want to eat it from some guy named Akira who fucking traveled to Japan to learn the fine art of sushi making for 5 years and then came back here like I am going to run this shit. Like that's the kind of way I want to eat sushi.
Dude, one of my favorite things as a kid too used to just be going back and checking out the seafood section and see what fish they had in the live tanks.
Oh man, around here it's only lobster. It's just a live lobster tank in
Because
all the grocery
they'd
stores.
have all kinds of stuff: crab, lobster, sometimes some sort of fish swimming around.
But you know how New Englanders are. We got the best of everything, kid. You only want these Maine lobsters, dude.
In Boston, the Maine lobsters in Boston.
Yeah, kid.
We bring them down, dude.
We catch the fucking lobsters in Plymouth Bay, kid, and then we sell them to them fucking clowns in Florida.
Yeah, this is Maine lobster caught in Plymouth. Well, they just made their way down from Maine.
These lobsters got wings, kid. Don't worry about it. They flew over the border. Oh my god.
Dude, I will say that like the New England accent is so unique and it sounds so funny to me.
It's one of my favorites, bro.
Dude.
Yeah, like there's some wild accents. From that
I have
area,
a
man.
few that are like the Australian accent, the Boston accent, certain English accents. They just crack me up. You know what I mean? Like the thicker the better. Sometimes
like those fucking Cockney accents.
Yeah. Or something like or even
It's like the slummy,
the
but you don't know
Liverpoolian.
if it's actually the slums.
Like the Liverpoolian accent's definitely a little bit of a thicker one, bro. So like there's certain things that they like that say that are like crack me up. But dude, I think I like it so much because I feel like I don't have an accent whatsoever. But like obviously I've got some sort of form of a California American accent to like anybody else, but it just makes me fucking want an accent so bad. You know what I mean?
You do
honestly
have an accent, though.
Oh, I know I do, but like to me, I don't have one. You know what I mean? So it's just I wish I
none
had.
of us feel that we have one.
I wish I had more of a like identifiable. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if I talk to anybody, they'd immediately know I'm from Southern California.
Well,
You know
what's
what I
the
mean?
California accent, right?
Yeah,
Like-
I don't fucking know.
Like I feel like that's the question. What is the California accent? And I feel like the only answer I think anybody would ever give me would be some like burnout surfer from like the 1970s or 80s. They'd give you Keanu Reeves and fucking Point Break.
Yeah.
Like, hey, brah, we're gonna like, go down to the pier, catch some bodacious waves, and then get some grub. You wanna
Because like I've talked to plenty of like I feel like me like even Chris, like I don't even feel like Chris has much of an accent. Like, well, I take that back. There are certain things that Chris says, certain words, bro, that fucking crack me up. But other than that, the majority of the time, I don't really notice much of one. You know what I mean?
No, I have a pretty neutral accent, but there are times, obviously, that I will.
I feel like mine's pretty
slightly
neutral
different.
too. You know what I mean? For the
Well,
most
that's the
part.
interesting thing, right? Is like I feel like
my accent's not so much how I sound; it's just the words I say.
I think like the
that makes
idea
sense
of what people consider a Canadian accent from having, had now a handful of friends around varying parts of Canada, it seems to me like it's more of like the British Columbian, French Canadian is what the world just assumes all Canadian people sound like.
Yeah, like a slightly Western and then, French Canadian. I don't even think that people fully appreciate how different the East Coast is. Like the East Coast, like people from Newfoundland and like Nova Scotia.
Oh, dude, I can only
like
imagine.
Their accents are like pretty aggressive. Like
Newfoundland
people,
is like
they're definitely aggressive, but like even people that are from like Cape Breton. So if you look at a map, Nova Scotia is like partly mainland. And then at the very end of where it kind of like tails outward, there's like a big kind of like square kind of island. And that's called I just said it and I'm blanking. Cape Breton. So Cape Breton Island, and like once they're out there, dude, like people out there got accents for days. Like, and it's not like there's not any kind of towns or people that live there. Like there's multiple places that have thousands and thousands of people that live there. It's just like they're just that much further away. They're like that much further,
that much separated.
Yeah, that much more separated. Like I'm not saying that they live in the past at all.
No, but like they just speak slightly different.
Yeah, and it's harder for them to lose it when you're talking to everybody that has it. because you don't have that same, like in Ontario, right? You have people from all over the fucking place, like all over Canada, all over the world live in like Toronto or Southern Ontario. So whatever you speak, you're probably gonna speak like that forever, and you're not really heavily influenced because everyone's just so different.
Well, it's just think about us, bro. Just the amount of accents and things that we all have picked up and like intimidate on a daily basis just because of the people we hang out with. And that just shows how much, talking to a certain person can influence your speak. Because also think about this too. How many times has a person said a word or a phrase, and then all of a sudden you catch yourself using it in your daily vocabulary more often?
Oh, absolutely. But
I can't think of one specifically other than like young slang that like I would never say.
Well, dude, how many times do you jump into the room and go, "Sod it"?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so yes, that's
Like,
that young slang
or anything like that.
Or like,
dude.
if I ever joke around and say no cap, like that is like a joke to me. So like it's not real. Just like saw dude, like I would never introduce myself to anybody outside. Like
no, but I guarantee there's probably been like
at
a
work,
word
like,
or
oh, saw dude.
like there wasn't like your friends growing up. There weren't like things that all of a sudden one of your friends said, and then all of a sudden you guys just started saying it all the time. And
it can easily be as innocuous as like no doubt, right? Like
yeah,
you can hang out with somebody who's just like, oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt, and all of a sudden you just pick it up. Like it happens. But like the whole like accent thing, like when you think about someplace like Canada and as vast as it is, like Newfoundland would have a far dramatically different accent based on the people who settled there first, right?
Yeah, it's pretty old there too.
So like if I understand a little bit of history enough to vaguely remember that like Vikings had been into the Newfoundland area. So
yeah, but I think that honestly, Sean, it's just the same reason how come like people in the Northeast have accents, right? Is because a lot of those people probably came from like Britain and like Ireland and all that stuff.
And that was where I was heading. It's like,
dude,
I think
how
a lot
crazy,
of the Boston
though,
accent is that.
Think about that though, how crazy the Boston accent and how different it is even compared to those accents that probably it originated from. You know what I mean?
Oh, way different.
Because it's a blend of all of them. You know what I mean? Because it was like Irish, Italian, English,
and then look at New York, right? The New Yorker accent, which is in and of itself its own variant of what the Boston accent would be when you think about the spread of,
or even New Hampshire,
right? Oh, see, New Hampshire and Maine,
they got their own style too, bro.
They're both like,
or Jersey, bro. Jersey's even different.
Yeah, like New Hampshire and Maine are like the rednecky swamp Yankee style of a Boston accent.
Swamp Yankee. I have never heard that term in my life.
Yes.
Oh my god.
You don't
I hope
get
that's not derogatory because I just fucking laughed
Yankees.
so hard at that.
I once dated a girl whose dad described himself as a swamp Yankee. He's like, "Nah, I ain't no redneck. I'm a swamp Yankee."
Can you give me some level of explanation of what that actually means? Because I'm now curious.
Think about what a Yankee is. A Yankee is a northern, person from like the northern states during like the Civil War times.
Correct.
And the Southerners all termed anybody from the north a Yankee. That's what you were.
And if you're a wannabe redneck up here, that would make you a swamp Yankee.
Because most of them, there's a lot of swamp in the South, and that's kind of where that sort of, I get the term makes complete sense. Like, when you break it down.
Not to mention the dude was a bogger by profession, so I mean, like he literally made his living in swamps, in bogs, taking care of cranberry bogs. So like, yeah, when he ever said swamp Yankee, I was like, dude, yes, that's hilarious.
Perfect. I hope nobody takes offense to that. It's
dude, as far as I've ever heard it, it's a term of endearment when the people I've heard use it. That's
plus like Sean has known somebody that called himself that.
He's just now that we know that now that he's like said that, like I'm cool. Like dude, at first I laughed real hard without like thinking about it, and I was like,
I was very much a swamp Yankee in my post high school years because I was obviously dating that guy's daughter, and so like.
I got
country music and trucks, and
I got a little bit of hick in me too, bro. Don't worry about it.
That's it, right? So, yeah,
I got a little hitch in my giddy up. You know what I mean?
But yeah, those northern areas, they've just got a little bit of that more swamp Yankee to them. It's like, well, we're gonna go get you up the old Ford and go get some timber.
Yo, well.
I'll tell you what.
Dude, I love accents, bro.
There's this video of this little kid. I think it was Little Peter.
I love a
And
good southern accent too.
this kid does the best old man from Maine impressions I have ever heard. And he's got to be like 5 or 6 years old.
Oh, for real?
Oh my God. It's
what does an old man from
amazing.
Maine sound like, Sean? I need to know. Like, give me
Kinda
your
what-
best old man from Maine impression.
Well, no, literally what I just did for you. Well, we're gonna get the old Ford and head on down to the mill and get ourselves some timber.
I can imagine a little 5-year-old kid saying that, dude. It'd be hilarious.
Let me see.
Oh,
Dude.
God.
I gotta say this, bro. Kids nowadays are fucking. They're too smart for their own good. I feel like.
Oh my God, I found him. It was Little Peter. See if my my microphone ought to pick up this silliness. You want to hear this kid do an amazing old man from Maine?
And now we are right back just about where we shot them fellas, actually. But today we're gonna cut some timber and try out the hard life in the woods. I guess they say there ain't no money in the woods. I don't know why the hell we're doing it, but we're gonna try her out. This is my saw. I'm gonna start her up in a minute. And she purr like a kitten. She's awful sharp. I mean, when you touch that, cut yourself. But anyways, this right here is the tree I'm gonna cut. Sitting on a big stump. You ready to start this sucker up?
Here it goes.
I need to know what this kid looks like, bro.
What does he look like?
Hold on.
Oh, come on. Focus.
Look at this kid. He's fucking.
Good. But she's out of gas now. I'm gonna get some gas and cut some more timber.
Gonna cut some more timber.
He's not old at all. That's
Dude, that
actually
is
hilarious.
hilarious, bro.
Oh my God. I
I
love
bet
it.
she's more around like 7 or 8, man.
Either way, like I tell you, man, that kid nails it.
And I like how he's talking about using the saw, and the whole time he's holding a butter knife, a plastic butter knife. Nope, it's out of gas.
Oh my God.
Yeah, fill it up so I can cut small timber.
It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, like that is a perfect example of what an old man from Maine would sound like. I remember meeting an old man from Maine, gave me some weed back when I was running the vape shop. He was like, see this right here? This is the weed that we grow out in the fields. The weed I grow inside the house, that's the weed the government knows about.
You know who you sound like right now? You remember the cartoon Courage the Cowardly Dog?
I mean, I'm familiar with it, but I never watched it.
There was like an announcer guy, and he sounded exactly like that, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
so I got a
and
future.
If anybody out there listening knows who I'm talking about, fucking kudos to you. 'Cause I
Yeah,
swear
like
to God, that's
my
exactly
wife.
what you sounded like.
My wife was a big Courage.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh my God. You know, that's one of those careers I realize now in life I'm really missing out
Dude.
on. I need to get into voiceover work.
Voice acting would have been so sick, dude.
It'd be fun, man. It'd be fun. Actually, like on the note of voice acting, there's this NFT project and they're doing sock puppets. Okay. Now just like hear me out for a second because it sounds a little bit ridiculous, but when you
okay.
hear it, it sounds actually cool. So they're going to be like minting 500 sock puppets, and then the people that own them can do voice like casting, I guess, from the people that hold these things. So like your NFT sock could be in the NFT or the sock show, okay? And you could do a voice. And if you get the voice, then you get like payment and like you can all sorts of things. Like you basically are like casted just like you would if you're doing voice acting for some other project. But you by holding this thing, you get the opportunity to go for it.
Audition and see if you can become a character.
Yeah, like and
Yeah.
see if like your character, and I don't even know if it's necessarily like your sock. I think that just by holding a sock, you can then put your name in the hat to go in for like an addition, which to me just sounds cool. I just think it's like interesting way to like do NFTs, but also like for people that might want to just try that out. Like I would try it out.
Yeah,
Dude, if I could play like a stone sock, I'll just get fucking lit as fuck and then just be like talking to my microphone on a different level. You know what I mean? Why not? See what happens.
I already see it now. I want to be a news reporter. And I'm a news reporter who's stuck in like the 1920s. So all of my deliveries are like, Dateline! The mad masked caper has struck again. He's robbed the bank and moved on and snatched the jewels of 27 different jewelers. Can the police stop this maniacal madman? Tune in at 11 to find out.
Oh my god, dude.
I'm gonna say yes, please. I'm interested. I need to watch the news so bad right now.
I don't even know what happened right now. I do, but I don't.
Like what
Dude,
television
you just went
show
to
is
like
this?
pre-World War II times, and you're just like coming
Yeah,
from like
I was waiting for the clip, bro. Where's the clip?
Oh my goodness. I love that they had to use that voice to be heard on microphones of that era because the microphone technology couldn't pick up the lower bass tones.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I don't think that it could pick up the lower tones, so like
So
people would
instead,
have to do
they
that.
all talk like this. What an amazing time. You imagine you spend your life listening to some guy on the radio or on the news talking like that and like, oh yes. You expect that to be their voice, not understanding the technology of that era, and then you meet this person and like an actual person's like, hello, my name is Barry. And yes, I'm the man delivering the news to you every night. Like what? How come you don't sound like this?
That'd be so annoying after a while. I'd feel like.
I feel like that is a big part of why those jokes of like the men coming home being like, fuck. If that's how you had to talk in recording all the time, I'd come home and be like, shut up. Nobody talk to me. I just need 12 ounces of gin right now.
Gin, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I hate gin.
While we're at, speaking of just alcohol, when we were at good old Still Valley, we went to this fucking Mexican spot, which, by the way, for Ohio, being, in the middle of the, country, sort of, not bad Mexican food, bro. Not bad at all. I was pretty surprised and satisfied. But dude, their mango margaritas, bro. Big fan. Big fan. And it just made me also, realize that I'm a tequila guy, bro.
Are you?
Yeah.
Fucks with the tequila, huh?
And like, cause the two drinks that like I've really been enjoying lately, or have been enjoying, the one mainly being is the what I like to call the Mexican Mule, which is the tequila Moscow Mule. So it's just take out the old vodka, slide in the tequila. You know what I mean? A little lime, ginger beer, a little bit of some mint. Delicious, love it. My brother got me into them, and then those margaritas, bro. I just like the flavor of a tequila, bro.
That's
Like
the
a good,
thing,
like
man.
a blue agave, you know what I mean? Even if it's just like a blanco or even like a nice reposado, you know what I mean? I'm down with it.
I'm a big fan of the reposado. Like my wife and I have
It's got a
really
little smoky smokiness to. I've been kind of interested in trying some mezcal because mezcal is supposed to have like a real deep kind of smoky flavor to
It's
it.
a heavy smoke.
And I kind of want to try because I'm also like a bourbon and whiskey guy from time to time. But honestly, I feel like I'm more of a tequila guy at the end of the day.
So
Not
you wanna
only that,
try,
but I will say the recovery on tequila is so much better than a lot of other things because I don't feel nearly as hungover the next day if I drink some tequila. You know what I mean? I may feel a little sluggish, but I don't feel like sick or, no headachiness or nothing like that.
you want to find yourself a nice mezcalita then.
What is that? That's like
It's a like half and half mezcal tequila, right?
It's a margarita made with mezcal.
Oh, that would be good. But have you? I think because I was listening to like a podcast episode, and they also have like blends of like mezcal and tequila. So it's like you still get like the smoky flavor of a mezcal, but the finish of a tequila.
The interesting thing too is that like there's so many brands out there, and because there's so many filtration processes that people can run them through and all of that, people need to really explore tequila to find the tequilas that suit them best. Because like I think a lot of people think that they hate tequila because they've experienced Patron and Cuervo.
There's good tequila and there's bad tequila.
There's a lot of fucking much better tequilas out there than Patron and Cuervo. Just because they're name brands does not make them good quality. So Budweiser's not the best beer either, guys. Sorry to break that news if it's news to anybody. And so it's
hate to burst your bubble, but
yeah, Cresco weed is just okay.
Oh, and also, by the way, since we're still on like the liquor subject, I've also really just decided I'm a sour guy when it comes to beer. Just give me a good sour, bro. That's all I would need.
You hit the mark there, huh?
Don't hand me anything else, really. Just give me a good, nice fruited sour. You know what I mean? I'm down with it. Like I had some really nice ones over the weekend. Like, dude, that black currant. It was what was it? It was a bunch of different weird numbers. It was like something black currant. It was like 11 black currant, 14 grapes, 1 plum, or some shit like that. In each can. And dude, I will say this: it was not only tart, but it was a nice berry plum mixture as far as the flavors went. Like I haven't had a plum in a long time, and I kind of forgot. Like plums kind of have a little bit of a tartness to them.
Yeah, they do.
That blended very nicely with like the black currant and the grape. Delicious. And then I also had that slushy one, which was like it had all kinds of stuff. It was like strawberry, raspberry, lemon, lime, or something like that. And dude, so good. So good. Got all the fruits, nice little bit of tartness to it, not too overpowering. Went down real nice and easy. But dude, that black currant one, I didn't realize it until I was like, a little bit through the can. It was like a 8%, dude. Oh, and then we went and got some wings over at Basil's. The good old wing spot, delicious wings, by the way. I had a couple sours from Victory. I had their sour monkey, which is like I think it's more of like a kind of like citrus sour action, which is another higher percent. I think that was like around like a 8 or something like that. And then I had a berry monkey, which was like their berry sour, and that had like three berries or something in it. And dude, I gotta say that one I liked much more, but it was like a 9%. And dude, I'll say after two of those sours, dude, I was feeling pretty good. Luckily, I didn't have to drive the entire weekend, so it was kind of nice to let loose and have a couple drinks. But
bonus.
Isn't that the greatest thing about vacation? Like you never have to worry about that responsibility. Because like I would never do that here, right? But if I'm on vacation and somebody's like, "Hey, you want a beer?" and I'm like, "Are we going somewhere?" and they're like, "Yeah," I'll be like, "Sure," like that's fine.
That's the only time I really indulge is like when I'm out and I know I don't have to worry about driving anywhere.
Yeah, or like you're parked for the night, like on a Friday night, you'll enjoy one on the green room.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to go anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. I rarely will have one in the middle of the week or during the day, like even like on the weekend, like I don't, unless I know I'm not going anywhere. Because I don't like having one and then having to be like, oh shit, I got to go do this and be like, oh, well, I've had a fucking beer. I don't want to, or whatever, just, it's crazy though, because I don't necessarily think about it as much when I'm stoned because like I feel like I operate on a level head when I'm high compared to, introducing some alcohol into my system. I've made some very, very rough decisions on the old booze, you know what I mean? And don't like to do that much anymore. And I feel like that's part of the reason why I don't drink.
Well, I mean,
I don't
100%.
necessarily enjoy I don't enjoy the hangover, and I also don't enjoy the fact that my decision making isn't always the best. You know what I mean? I don't like the fact that I lose control. You know what I mean?
No, that's
Not
never
like
good.
not like lose control as far as doing something like crazy stupid, but like I lose control of like making smart decisions, you know what I mean? Like thinking through things because I act more on a whim instead of, being like, hold on, wait. Is that smart? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, alcohol is an actual neurotoxin. So
Yeah.
you're literally poisoning your brain when you ingest it to get that drunk feeling.
I don't
And
like it.
that's the thing. Like, you're going to pay for it in other ways that are far less tangible after the fact as well. And so, like, it throws off your body's whole sense of stasis for days on end afterward. It's definitely, when you think about moderation for alcohol, it's definitely something that should be done, very sparingly once in a great while, because getting into it too much can really put your body into terrible places. You'll get sick more often, and who wants to be doing that shit? Who wants to be getting sick all the time because you just drank some booze too many times in this month? Fuck all that.
Hey, but at the end of the day, as long as you drink responsibly, you know what I mean? Do you, boo? We ain't king
100%.
shaming nobody. We ain't fucking I wouldn't say kink shame, I would say vice shaming. You know what I mean? As long as you're doing it responsibly, you're not hurting anybody, you know what I mean? And you're able to function as a normal member of society, shit. Do you, boo? You know what I'm saying?
And if you need help, please, find help. There's plenty of services for addiction out
Absolutely,
there.
dude.
And we support anybody who wants to get help for addiction. You've heard it on this show many a times where we've talked to people who are former addicts and how they've, battled through their demons. You know, Addiction's a crazy thing because, like, I'm watching it hit people hard around here right now because Massachusetts just legalized sports gambling.
Oh,
So, like, people are going nuts, and like all of the betting apps obviously are, they're not dummies. So they're like, yeah, we'll give you $20 free in bets. And so it's getting people hooked in, and I'm watching like all these people get sucked into it. I'm like, oh, you guys are gonna get bit by the gambling bug. Better be careful. You better learn to control this one.
yeah, that's one thing I'm glad I don't get into very much. Like I do when I go to because I used to go to the casino every now and then with my buddies, and then I was on a pretty bad losing streak for a while, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. And then I went to Vegas with Chris, played a little bit, didn't win nothing, so I was like, oh, whatever. And then I went back with Will and Corey and those guys. Came back a little 500 in the pocket, and I was like, kind of want to go back. Kind of want to go back. I got that bug, but
The itch.
But I let it go. But the cool thing about that, bro, that was all I took that, and that was my spending money for the fucking trip, so I didn't have to tip into any bill money or anything like that. It's nice when you got those. It's just like I folded it up, put it away.
That's
Like,
playing responsibly.
I was like, I got some cash for this fucking weekend, so that was cool. That was another thing that's nice, man. When you got you can go on a trip and not have to worry about it. I was like, oh well, I want that. Let's do this. Oh, I'll pay for that. Let me get that. Not have to worry about nothing.
When you're in Vegas next, Chris, you're gonna have to hit up the Punk Rock Hall of Fame.
I'll do that because like this year, I'd still really I'm planning on going. I haven't like booked a ticket or anything, so I guess I can't say I'm going. But this year I kind of plan on, adding a day before and maybe a day after, instead of just kind of going the day before it opens and then coming back the day after it ends. I guess it was really close to that. I think I like left on a Friday morning and came home really early Tuesday morning. So maybe just like book a week. So like leaving from like Wednesday to a Wednesday kind of thing. And then having a little bit extra time. So like I can go do the strip. So I can drive to Grand Canyon and check that out because I know that that's like a day. Like to go out there, do some fucking sightseeing and then drive back. It's like a day or so. Just to give myself that, because like other than going there that weekend, that's the only time that I've ever been to that part of America, right? Or North America for that matter. So I want to have a little bit more time. So I'll do that. I'll look into the Punk Rock Hall of Fame.
Yes, I think it's the Punk Rock Museum. I just seen a thing about it. Like it's opening now, and like Fat Mike had just visited to check it out or whatever. So I was like, oh shit.
Oh, okay. Then yes, I'll certainly go.
Like I'm like, that is something that I think Uncle Chris would dig, is to be able to go check this out. If Fat Mike has checked it out and is cool with it, like sounds like Uncle Chris would want to check this shit out himself.
Yeah, no, I would for sure.
Like if it's gonna give you like a nice dope history of punk, like that sounds like a fun time.
I remember going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when I was probably 18, something like that. And it was interesting, but it was like very formal. So like I wonder if like the Punk Rock Museum would be the same kind of feeling, or if it would be kind of more like raw.
The picture, I mean, the picture I saw made me think it would be a little bit more punk. I mean, for lack of a better way to put it, right? Like it's
okay.
It didn't strike me as something where like it was going to be like you're in the Museum of Fine Art and they're talking punk rock. Like,
yeah, like it looks super clean. There's like glass everywhere.
Like, it looked like they'd set up exhibits that were like made with subway tile and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, what? That's cool.
Let me see here. Let's see if I can yeah, Punk Rock Museum. Quick Google search. Western Ave in Las Vegas. So it is definitely open and operating now. And see here, let's see kind of got any images of exhibits on here so that we can get an idea.
I'm all about like checking out new shit for sure, especially stuff that's like up my alley, which that would be up my alley. That's kind of perfect, actually.
So I mean, one of the things that lists in here on the collection of the only two things was that there's Fear's saxophone is there.
Okay.
And the footage of Fear on Saturday Night Live.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I'm into that. I've seen the clips of that performance, and it as a person who's been in like those kind of like street punk shows and like those kind of pits and stuff, I can truly imagine how terrified the people at Saturday Night Live must have been.
NBC was like, yo, what is fucking happening right now? Like, who are we firing?
Like, when this all-out fucking just sea of bodies explodes and everything goes wild, like, I can totally see them shitting bricks going, what have we gotten ourselves into? We're banning anything like this ever happening again. Like, oh man, it was good. It's good. You guys can probably find that footage out there on the YouTube. But yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. I mean, who doesn't want to see that? Fuck the establishment. Let's go.
I'm interested. Okay, so that's like one of those things that'll definitely get done, and like the days before or after.
Yeah. I was like, this is something I know Uncle Chris would definitely want to do. It sounds like it would be a damn good time. I certainly am like ready to do one of my YouTube rabbit holes and see if I can find people doing walkthroughs of it.
Oh, I'm sure
'Cause
there's some out there, bro.
I found a kid that I like to watch who does shit like that, and some of the places he's gone and like super cool. Um, there was this one place. It was in Illinois, if I remember correctly, and it was this like just elaborate mansion that this wild eccentric billionaire had built that overlooks this giant like rock face and just hangs off a cliff. And like you walk through this place, it's set up now as a museum, and it has like full animatronic bands, and not in the sense of like the Chuck E. Cheese cheesy robots playing instruments, but like all the instruments arranged and then animatronics playing them. And so you'll have like actual chamber music with like harps and different percussion and pianos, the whole nine. And you'll be able to like drop a coin in and they'll just start playing like chamber music as you're walking through the place. It's wildly incredible. The guy has collections of all sorts of art and other masterpieces and artifacts from around the world throughout the building. And it's just a stunning piece of architecture as well. Yeah, so there's all sorts of cool shit like that out there in this world. You just got to go find them.
Dude,
There's
the
even
world's
a-
filled with awesomeness. If you can look past some of the other stuff, you know what I mean? Like you can get to so many dope ass places on this planet. It's awesome. I wish I could see a thousandth of them. You know what I mean?
I know I want to go to Hungary one day.
What's in Hungary?
So it's a fish shop that I want to go visit specifically.
Oh, okay. Hey,
But-
that's fucking dope. I'm
But
into
like
it.
Budapest and like the architecture and the landscapes there are all gorgeous. So I would love to go visit that. I want to visit Amsterdam, not just because I want to go get stoned, but because
No, there's tons of history there.
exactly the
I
history.
think
the
that's why I'd love to
landscape.
go to Europe.
I'd just like
Just
to go
'cause-
to anywhere in Europe, bro.
Yeah, I love history, and there's so much more history in Europe than there is here that we know about, right? Obviously, there's history in North America, but it wasn't really documented the same. And
Which should
there's
really
not
be
the
interesting
same
to
like
get into, though.
industry. Oh,
Dude, I'd love to learn like more about like early like North America and shit like that, you know?
Right, like
well,
the
I
Native
think that you're only
American
ever going
Yeah,
to hear
yeah,
about
yeah,
it from
yeah.
like people that it came from Europe, right?
Dude,
I don't think that you're going to
it's
hear
so
like actual.
it's so unfortunate, bro. Like,
Well, I mean, we have throughout the country, we do have established Native American tribes still to this day.
yeah, but even they've lost a lot of their history due to things that happened along the way, which is unfortunate, you know?
It's very true, but I think one of the more important things with that is that we can still support them by, patronizing their establishments and buying things from them, supporting the tribes, supporting their communities when possible. Indigenous people have faced an uphill battle in this country for a long time, and they deserve to be treated as equals, just like anybody else, right?
100%, dude.
If anything, like I hold their view of the world in esteem because I feel like they have respect for the land, and that is something that modern man is losing ever so quickly. So
I think that, most people don't care. I think that there still is plenty of people that do, but I know that you didn't say that all people don't.
I'm just saying that like, where modern man
is-
is losing that perspective so quick.
Well, that's like one of those things that honestly, like, there's one show that like my dad would watch, and I can't remember what it was. Is like kind of like in the north, or like some sort of like show that followed people that like live above some level of like the world. I can't remember. Life Below Zero, maybe it's called. I can't remember. Anyways,
Sounds like a show I've heard of.
there's one dude who's like, he's an indigenous person, like he's like from centuries and centuries and centuries of like people that lived off the land and all that stuff. And this dude's just like such a smart guy. Like I understand, it's a TV show and they can kind of make certain things show where they, whatever. Like take all of that out of it and just like look at it and see like this dude that just like completely understands like nature, but also understands like humans, and it's just fucking it's a trip. He's the only one that I actually like watching his like little clips. So like all those shows, they'll have like
they kind of play it up a little bit.
yeah, and they'll also like show you certain people from like one commercial break to another commercial break, and then the next one it'll flip to another person kind
Yeah.
of living yeah, and like he's the only one that I even care about. I think that he's like a pretty cool dude. I'd meet him in person and be like, yo, good on you, bro. You're fucking living life. I like it.
How'd I know exactly what you were gonna say? Good on you. I was about to say that.
It's just nice, dude. Fuck.
Yeah.
I like people that are like trying to make changes by doing things right. You know what I mean? Regardless of like what level it's at. So like I like seeing people that are like trying to make a difference in inner cities. Like I appreciate them for doing that. But I also like people that are trying to make a difference by maybe like having no carbon footprint or like the lowest carbon footprint possible. Or like people that are like, I'm gonna not use gasoline, I'm gonna do this other thing and try to cut down as much of my fossil fuel consumption as possible. Just like little things like that. Cause I feel like it's gotta be empowering if you feel like you're making any level of difference. And that makes me feel good. That people are like feeling that they make a difference.
I think the beauty of that too is that you're in control of your destiny at that state, right? Like those people have made a commitment to control what they eat, how they eat it, how they, receive, the world around them. And it is something that's beautiful because I mean, let's face it, I think all human beings to some extent, I think we all have this piece of us that calls back to the wild, that says that like we want to get back to nature and we want to, you know, be free, if you will, from the confines of modern life and just, be a wild man for a little bit. And then we remember, but the bills are there and the house needs the cleaning, and we move on with it and we ignore the call of the wild. But I think it's in all of us. And I think it's something that we all should be doing more is heeding that call and getting out into nature and breathing the fresh air. I mean, there's a practice known as forest breathing, and it's so true. You can live in a small town, but once you get into the trees of the forest and you start breathing that air, it does feel like it's just a little bit cleaner. It feels like the space around you is just that much more peaceful. And when you do that, there's something that just happens to the human body. We relax. It's kind of nice. We should all relax way more than we do.
Facts.
Way more than we already do. Let's face it. We are uptight creatures. So, we should be out in nature way more. And now that spring is here, that means that camping weather is around the corner. So for all you people who have, been prone to the camping life,
Dude, I'm honestly hoping that the family gets to go out and do a little camping this year. Because that'd be
right?
cool. Because we got, parents have the new what they call the road cabin. Shit, I'll just take a fucking tent, bro. You know what I mean? Just roll out there with the parents, let them do their thing in the little RV, pitch a tent out there by the fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Get out there with nature, unplug for a minute. Maybe take one or two of the pups with us.
Dying to snap your face off in your tent.
Yeah, dude. You already know.
Because that's the beauty of the Dynavap, is that you can take that bitch camping.
Yeah, I might even, charge up the Puffco. Maybe take the Puffco along. Take a couple little dab skis out there. Who knows?
So my boy, Ringo, shout out to the homie. He and his buddy went to the NECAN convention, and his buddy had one of these DeWalt power packs. You can just put the DeWalt battery into, and it would become an outlet. So he brought a goddamn volcano with him and carried that bitch around at the convention, just filling up bags.
Ooh. Don't do that to me, Sean.
I'm sorry, but I just needed to put that.
Oh, by the
out
way,
there.
you know what I just ordered, bro? So I was picking up some a little accessory pack for my volcano because somehow I've lost the blue O-ring that goes over the top that seals the bag when you're feeling it.
Oh no.
So like fucking vapors falling out the bottom. So until I get those in, no volcano for me, unfortunately. But I also saw that they sell a box of 3 meter long a balloon material is what they're calling it, balloon bag. So I have enough in there to make 3 bags, like 3 1 meter long bags, or 1 3 meter long bag.
Dude.
And I bought a
3 meters is
pack of
crazy
3,
long,
bro. So I got 3 pack. What I'm probably gonna end up doing too is I might hook one of the homies up with one so he can, get a big bag going. But yeah, dude, I'm gonna see what I can do with it because apparently, from what I understand, it's just like a roll, and I can cut it to whatever size. I think, unless it's perforated, which would kind of suck, but we'll find out when it shows up.
Like if you could just do one that just sits like behind you, just takes up like the whole space, you should be like, yep.
Yeah, it's this fucking big ass one, dude.
One
whole bowl and 1 bag.
Oh
Could
my
you imagine?
gosh.
Could you imagine how milky that would be, bro?
Dude, can you imagine? Okay, like, you know how long that is, though? Like,
A meter?
3 meters, bro?
Yeah.
That is 120 inches. That is 10 feet of a bag, a 10-foot bag.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have it out, like, lying across the whole fucking room, just, like, filling it up. It'll just be, like, all
It
this
might go.
vape, just, like-
It might fit from this corner to that corner, bro.
Yeah, it will take up every last bit. Like, that's so fucking
you
long,
won't
dude.
be able to fill it to capacity because it won't be able to stand erect in the room.
Yeah, you'd be like having to like support it and shit.
Unless I tilt my volcano over on its side.
Ah ha ha. Is that a safe thing?
I don't know.
That's the question.
Probably not.
You'd almost have to like get like a thing that you could angle it so you get like the regular part that would fit in, and then you have a tube going up into the next bag, so then you could just lay it flat and like the tube is
Dude, I
going
wonder if
in
I
on
could hook the
flat.
whip up to it and fill it up through the whip.
Yeah, there you go.
I think at the end of the day, I don't know that your material that's in there is gonna be enough.
Oh, we'll make it enough.
It's worth a try.
We'll make it
10
enough, bro.
feet, because it's standard width, right?
I would think so, yeah.
So like I don't know the mathematic formula to
We'll
do that,
find out,
but
boys, on the next Shedtime podcast. No, I'm just kidding. No, I honestly won't use the full. I won't use the full bag, but I would like a little bit bigger of a bag. You know what I mean?
yeah!
So if I can get like maybe half that size, like
Nice
maybe like
5-foot bag?
even like a 3-foot bag,
Just get a
4-foot
bag as
bag.
big as you. You'll be all set.
Yeah, dude.
You rip
one
your
down
own
my
body
size.
weight and
So a 6-foot bag, about a 6-foot bag would be good.
Yeah, just rip your
Well,
own
that'd
body
be, like,
weight and vape, you'll be
easy.
fine.
Yeah, that'd be easy twice as long as normal. I don't even think that you do a 3-foot bag now. Is it 3 feet?
This is probably like 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're 6 feet, your fingertips to your shoulder should be 3 feet. So
This is like 2.5.
Okay, so it'd be considerably bigger than that.
Yeah.
you can get silly
Oof.
with it. You can get real silly with it. It's a bold new world, gentlemen.
And luckily it comes with a new like mouthpiece fitment thing. So I'll have extra of those. And I got some of those little brushes too. Those brushes are nice, dude.
Yes.
I'm gonna have one for my grinder. so I can, brush all the keef and stuff off my grinder, one for the volcano, and then I'll have one spare one for something else.
Fire.
With about a little pack. I had to add something worth $3 to get the free shipping. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just grab an extra pack of brushes.
Dude, well, that's the thing, right?
Dang.
It's always nice to have those little specialty tools kicking around for when you need it and didn't know you needed it.
Yeah, they're nice, dude. I also got some extra screens, which honestly, I think I'm just going to take these ones out and replace them. Put some freshies in there in the bowl when I get those new O-rings. Clean the bowl out, get it all nice and clean. Start fresh again. Get a fresh bag because this bag's pretty thrashed.
Nothing like that new fucking vape.
The only thing
flavor.
that sucks is, bro, I just wish I could find a way to reuse these mouthpieces instead of just tossing them. But I don't think there's a way. I might have to try to tear one of these apart and see. Even though I'll have some other ones.
Well, it sounds like experiments are on the horizon. New experiences are on the horizon. And that means more content. And speaking of content, it's about that time that we start wrapping this content up. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate all y'all for hanging with us each and every week. Shout out to all you real Shedheads, and big shout out to the patrons out there who have been holding it down. We really do love and appreciate all of y'all. So, you guys know how this rolls. I'm going to send it on over to Uncle Chris for his sign out.
Whew. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Of course, feel free to go check us out on shedtimepodcast.com. It's got all of our links on there. Feel free to spend some time. Just click around. Just look at all the sources we got there. Sean just killed it. So you should definitely check it out. If you guys want to check me out, you can check me out on Tuesday nights on KVTV's YouTube channel at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for Mixing It Up. Just an e-liquid mixing show. Lots of conversation. We talk about flavors, not necessarily just vaping, but sometimes we even break it down just for how flavors work together. And anybody who likes cooking, you might want to check it out just for some ideas. You can check out the three of us on Friday nights on the Green Room. Always just kicking it, always having a good time. We're back to our normal we're back to our normal events because everybody is at the right screen with the right backdrop. And it was nice last week to kind of just not have any stress, even though for me, it was all the same. I think that just a week before that, I was sad that I wasn't there because I should have been, but it is what it is. That's life, baby. So yeah, I think that's everything for me. So what I will say is, everybody out there, appreciate you. Live your best life. And James, take it away.
All right. As always, shout outs to all the Shedheads for all you guys' continuous support. Make sure you guys go check out the Patreon for the video. If you guys want to catch the early podcast episodes, we do drop it a little earlier for you guys with the video attached. So if you guys want to see what we may be talking about and stuff like that, that's a good way to get a hold of that. Otherwise, you can definitely make sure to drop some 5-star reviews on any of your podcasting platforms or anything like that. That way it helps us out in the algorithms, lets more people find out about the podcast. And of course, you can check us out on Fridays over on my YouTube channel for the Green Room with, of course, myself and the boys. We do some Shedhead sessions where you guys have an opportunity to come hang out with us on the show and play some games. We do build offs. We do all kinds of cool stuff. So make sure you go check that out. And of course, I will post some reviews over there every now and then for some vape products. When I have something come across the desk that piques my interest, we'll definitely be posting a video about it. Other than that, we'll be here in the shed doing the damn thing as we always do. So I'm going to end it as I always do, sending out all those positive vibes. Crisp high fives. Don't forget to tell someone you love them, and a little bag or dabble do ya. Sean.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So, my friends, you already know where to find us. Shedtime Podcast has the links to everything. So go check it out. And with all of that, I'm going to bring it to a close like we always do and tell you, don't let the bastards get you down. Be cool. Don't be a dick. And whatever it is that you do, be sure to have some fun, because this is the Shedtime Podcast, and it's time to roll on up and roll on out.
Dynavap, Dynavap, Dynavap. Looking to cut the cord on your dry herb vape?
Dynavap. Trying to get the best taste from your herb? Dynavap. Ready to take your sesh to the next level? Then meet Dynavap, the best way to vape your flower or concentrate. Concentrates? That's right, your flower or hash can be vaped using Dynavap. Check out Dynavap.com to learn more. That's Dynavap.com. Lose the ash? Dynavap.
What's going on, Shedheads? It's your boy Frames Janklin. Are you looking to step up your match game or have a raw copper, brass, or stainless mod or RDA that you're absolutely tired of polishing? Then you need to go and hit up my man Ashton of Palmer's Powders. He does some absolutely amazing powder coating work. He offers many different colors and finishes at an absolutely killer price. This man is taking powder coating to a whole new level, and he can make your setup an absolute masterpiece. You can go follow him over on Instagram at Palmer's Powders, and you can go check out pricing on his website, palmerspowders.com. That's palmerspowders.com. And as always, let's just vape on, Shedheads.
I want you to think of your favorite rebuildable right now. Yeah, okay, so you have a layer cake in your hand, and now you're about... Oh, sorry, yeah, that's not everyone's favorite. That's just mine. So think of your favorite rebuildable atomizer. Think about how good of a vape it produces for you. Now, take that and amplify it. And the way that you amplify that is you put in some Breezestone coils. Breezestone coils are handcrafted in Adelaide, Australia. They're made from some of the finest quality wire that you can get. I believe it's wire Buddha. You take those coils, you take them out of that phenomenal packaging that clearly shows how much care that Adam puts on the quality of his coils and the insurance that you get them in good shape. You put them in that favorite RDA, and guess what? You have coils that now sing better than Celine Dion. Go check out Breezestone coils. You can find them on localvape.com and also steelvalleyvapors.com. Solid.
And then I said, I gotta hit this Dynavap. Dyna gang.
Oh, dude, I forgot. I got a new stem from Ashton. He sent me the Aftershock one.
Oh shit, son.
Oh, that one's got like the gradual like base,
Yes.
eh? Oh,
So
okay.
fit into your rig. I need to clean it though. You didn't clean it.
Long adapter.
He's like, yo, I'm gonna give this to this motherfucker. If he fucking can't clean it, he doesn't deserve it.